Do you feel that in a time when we are more connected than ever, we are drifting away from real human connections, especially to ourselves? I do. Hi, I'm Leticia Latino, and I want to invite you to join me and my very inspiring guests in exploring ways to reconnect to your essence, to your definite purpose, to what makes you tick. Are you ready? Hi there, and welcome to Back to Basics. I'm beyond excited because today I have someone on the show whose music I've enjoyed for most of my life. Any Venezuelan would agree that he's one of the musicians, singer-songwriter that we're most proud of. He's Grammy-nominated, has composed or written over 200 songs, and had 6 platinum-certified albums. I'm sure that this short intro doesn't serve justice to all his achievements, but I'd love for Mr. Frank Quintero himself to tell us about it. Hello, Frank. How you doing?
How are you, Leticia? Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thanks for being on the show. Needless to say, it's an honor. I've admired you most of my life, and I've had the pleasure in the past to meet you in person thanks to my loving husband who has played guitar with you. That's how lucky I got. So, Frank, one of the reasons why I thought you would be a great guest for this podcast is basically because you are someone that, in my opinion, is living the life you want. I can bet you love music, and I'll let you tell us about it. But not many people, live that life. They all dream about playing the guitar or be a musician. You are one of the guys that actually is getting to do it. So I would love to hear your perspective on that. And why don't you start with your childhood and tell us about Frank Quintero, or Francisco, right?
Juan Francisco.
Juan Francisco. So tell me about Juan Francisco as a child, and what you like to do and how your childhood was and how you got that first connection with music.
My father was a musician. He was a bass player. He also played piano and guitar. And ever, I can remember, I used to go with him to the studios, the recording studios, the TV studios, radio stations. And so all of his friends were musicians, so I grew up among musicians. So when I remember when I was, I think 8, maybe 8 or 9, because he was playing every night, in clubs, and so he got home really, early in the morning, like 5 a.m., 4 a.m. I remember one day that I was getting out of bed to go to school, and he was coming in. So he asked me, he sat down with me and said, "Can you do this?" And he played me the Bossa Nova rhythm from the table. So I did it. He said, "Can you do this other thing?" And so, "Can you do this with your left hand, with your right hand?" So he discovered that I have the ability to the independence of my hands and my arms, right? So next thing you know, he got me a drum set.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a cool dad.
Yeah, and then I started playing the drums because he was a friend of the drummer of this famous guy, Renny Tolina. He was like a Johnny Carson in Venezuela. So he got the drum set I got was his for this guy. Georgie Lister was his name. So the funny thing is, the set was a Ludwig drum, exactly as the one that Ringo has for the Beatles.
Wow! Oh my God,
Yeah, right. Then when I got out of school, like elementary, I went to the military school. I was 11 years old, so I joined the martial band. So the guy who directed the band showed me how to play the snare drum and read, the rudiments, the exercises on the snare drum. So at 11 years old, I was reading music already.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. So I joined the rock and roll band that the school has. It was a military school that the school has. So we start playing around the city to others colleges. So when I got there, I got out. I was like 15 maybe. I made this band with the song of a trumpet player, friend of my father. He was a drummer. Because I was playing drums and singing, and then a friend of mine told me, you know what, that is good and everything, but I can see you because you are behind the drums. So if you want to be a singer, you have to be up front.
Hmm.
So get another guy who plays the drums so you can sing. So then I started learning to play the guitar so I can sing and play.
Was that disappointing at some point? Like maybe you like the drums so much and you say, I like the drums, or you were set on, okay, I want to be a singer more than play the drums, or it was just natural?
No, he was proud, but on the other hand, he wanted me to study instead of being a musician. So we had this fight because he was always like telling me, "Hey, what are you? You got to go to school and everything." So my mother was like a cover of this situation. We play in clubs at night, so she called us. Hey, she call me when you get the gig is end up. So we call her and she said, come, your father's coming back. So we got home and we got into bed, like all dressed up and everything with the blanket to our neck, and then Dad would open the door and said,
Wow.
yeah. So
There's always a woman behind every great man. That.
of course, and my mother was the one who practically inspired us to be in the music business. And now I understand why he didn't want us to be a musician, because this career is, I think it's one of the, maybe I'm wrong, but it's one of the less careers that are really connected to your ego, because if you are successful, you gotta be in the front page all the time, so people, if you disappear for years, they say, what happened to this guy? Oh, so they forget about you. And the record companies, they sign your life away. You have to do everything. They put you in the spotlight, and then all of a sudden they drop the ball and they get another guy. So you're really famous today, and a year later you're nobody.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not your case because you're still very famous to us.
Another thing, I started so young, and I was very fortunate because my father put me through this guy, Aldemar Romero, who was a great musician, and I traveled the world with him, and he taught me how to read music, how to write music, how to sing, and how to understand, the Venezuelan musical, which is really open wide. I mean, you can hear like ballads and the joropo and then the 3/4 and the 6/8 and 12/8. And then you have the cuatro, the maracas, the joropo, which is one for the central part of Venezuela, the one for the south, the east and west. It's so different, and many kinds of Venezuelan expression that they also have to do something to do with the music from Africa, from Spain, from the Middle East. Everything is connected.
Absolutely.
So that's why I started writing music, and I understood that no matter how good you are, the only thing that does transcend and go beyond, the time is the songs. No matter who sing it, no matter who write it, what really live through, the minds of the people forever and ever is the songs.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I think that's why you really came to mind with this podcast is you because you're a great example of someone that in Latin America and Venezuela reach basically the top of stardom for any Venezuelans. We all listen to your songs. You put some of your songs can be sang. I sing them even if I don't hear them for 15 years. I still know the lyrics, which is powerful. And you're still being constant in doing your music, and people think you don't see you, but then if you are in your circle or you follow through Facebook, you're very active in doing things, and just one of your favorite albums actually that I love, the one Natural, that you had Miguel Bosé on that. I mean, that is full of collaborations that are just beautiful. I think you keep giving back to the people and to the music. but I can recognize that how the whole landscape has changed for you guys as musicians and as singers,
Yeah.
that it definitely must not be easy. Do you feel, obviously, music has been your connection to who you are? And I have a question for the end that's always important. But do you feel because things have changed, that has changed too a little bit, that it's harder and you cannot focus so much on what you like and have to focus on how to get the music out there?
No, that's a good point. The industry. I mean, I think the digital area, the era, how I call it, digital changes everything. I mean, back in the day, you have to buy the whole album to listen to your favorite song on the radio. And maybe if you were lucky, you will like all the songs, but chances were that you just like one song. But the artist got paid for the whole album. See?
Yes.
And now, because of the digital era, practically the CDs, they disappear. That's it, like from the dinosaurs
Yes.
area. And not to mention the LP, the vinyl, which is it now is a fashion. Like you can buy an LP for $100 or something like that, but it's collector's item.
Yes. Yes.
And you used to listen to radio to hear your songs. Now, like my kids, they don't listen to the radio, they watch TV. They attach their iPhones like 24/7.
Or they go to YouTube or they ask Alexa. I have my daughter, she's 4, and she goes, Alexa, play.
That's right, And, through my youngest, he's 13. Through him, I know a lot of artists that I wouldn't even know about them if it wasn't because of him. Guy like band from Japan, they actually sing in Japanese. And my son, he sings the songs in Japanese. And he knows this all, but on the other hand, he knows about Queen, he knows about the Beatles, he knows about Tom Jones. He knows, like vintage artists, I don't know how, but he does.
Yeah, well, he's your son. I'm sure you have had a little bit of influence there.
Yeah, so we had to recreate ourselves to be a part of this humongously big marathon with all the artists are running, and you're not in the first row, maybe you're in the row 1,013,000, but you are there. And in my case, which I feel really fortunate and grateful to my dad and to life, that I have these people that follow me around no matter where I am. I'm going to Australia in June.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, for a 5-week tour, for the 5-city tour. And it's amazing, that I've been traveling the world to play for the nostalgic Venezuelan people all over the world.
Yes, and we are that many now.
You would be surprised. Like I went to Chile last year, and I felt like I was walking in Caracas, like everybody, hey friend, how you doing? I stopped every corner to talk to Venezuelan people, also in Buenos Aires, in Sao Paulo, Bogota, everywhere.
I imagine that, and I don't want to get into politics but the back to basics also goes to any Venezuelan that has had to leave their country. You didn't, for what I understand, leave Venezuela because of that, but still you are living abroad. Like me, I didn't leave because of the situation, but I consider myself with a group of people that misses their country. I imagine, at least for me as a Venezuelan, when I listen to your songs, they have the ability, and then they see you there. It's almost like it's possible that we can go back to the good things that we miss. And so we dream. I'm sure I'll be there. I don't know how, but whenever you do the first concerts that you're going to do in Caracas or Venezuela after things change, I definitely want to be part of that, because I think there are special moments ahead. And as a musician, I think you will have, all musicians of your era will have a very important role to play to bring us back to where we need to be.
I dream about it, because people write to me and, through the social media and ask me, when are you going to play there? And I tell them it's not because of the money. It's because it's not safe. It's because I don't want to be. I don't want to see the country as it is right now. When I go back, I want to see the country that I left.
Yeah.
Beautiful place, with people happy, and Caracas is. I used to brag about it. This Caracas is one of the best cities in the world. You can eat like great. You can you can travel. You go to the beach. You have mountains. You have snow. You have everything in Venezuela. Venezuela was an incredible country.
Yes.
And that's the way I want to, keep it in my mind. I want to see that. And I would love it. Maybe I might organize a concert, for free for people to, when we regain the country.
Yeah, that would be a great celebration. Yeah, definitely. I'll donate a few cases of champagne so that that we can toast in your concert for sure. Going back a little bit, so yeah, are there any regrets when you say that your dad said you should have studied? Are there any, or you feel that you pursue your life's passion and you feel like, yeah, this is there's no other thing I could have been.
I was talking to my brother about it the other day because my father came from from musical Latin education. So his vision was through the bolero or the charanga and salsa and these Latins famous guys. But even though he used to listen to jazz a lot, so I learned about jazz because of him. But when we were hit by the British invasion, like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Amantes and the Kings, all those guys, so we made it a detour and we just went that way. And that was a shock for him because I think he was expecting us to follow his footsteps, and we did. So we kind of distanced from each other. So, I used to be very attached to my dad when I was a kid. And then when I turned 18, I was a teenager. So we kind of went roads apart. And that, I have my 20-year-old, 22-year-old, he's a drummer. And he was into this heavy rock, grunge kind of rock, like diabolic rock. Yeah, and I was like, my God, oh man, my dad would, get on his knees on asking for forgiveness because he used to criticize my Beatles. And then one day he called me and said, have you heard the new John Mayer album? I said, do you like John Mayer? Yes. He just changed.
Ah, interesting. Just by influence. So by being exposed to something else.
Yeah, and he asked me, do you have a problem with that? I said, not at all. You can listen to whatever you like and just my son. And I'm gonna, be with you no matter what music. And I went to see him playing with his band. That was his band, and he asked me, did you like it? And I said, yeah.
The power of love. It will make you lie to that.
And I promised myself that's not going to happen with me and my son. I'm just going to be next to him no matter if he told me tell me tomorrow that he's gonna play in the reggaeton band. I'm going to embrace him anyway because that's just his thing.
That is true. That is true. So if you have 1 hour to do something in your spare time or something that you say, I have 1 hour for me and I'm going to feel good about that, what would you be doing?
There's two things I really, really, really like. I watch a lot of movies. Like I'm a movie fan. So I'm not because of the distractions. I am a fan of the directors. I see more than the actors. I follow the directors. So I'm a Ridley Scott fan. So I watch everything he does. And because it's Netflix now, I sit down and I watch these incredible movies. And the other thing what I like to do, I just sit down sometimes in a park or on a bus, those stools, and watch people. So what they do, the way they walk, the movement of the city, that's great. They'll give you, it's like hypnotic. When I'm really, when I have the thing, because I have to write music, so I have in my mind the music like like an echo, the endless echo, and really drive me crazy. So I have to get my mind out of the music. So I do that sometimes.
That is interesting. I love that approach because some people, they would say, I will go to music to relax. But for you, sometimes you need to get out of music because it's really your life. Yeah.
Yeah, especially now that I'm trying to mix my recording. So not to mention you have to write and perform, and then you have to listen to the song a million times. That's really a torture.
Yes, I can see that. Now that I sometimes edit the podcasts and I enjoy each conversation so much, but I can relate. I say I can do the podcast, I cannot do the editing.
Yeah, yeah. You need somebody else to do that. But because of the softwares, it's great because now you have. If you don't know how to do something, just go to YouTube and say, "How can I do this?" And this guy, "Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm going to show you how to do it." So it's like the new Larousse encyclopedia.
Yes.
You can build, disarm, a play, ensemble a plane, with somebody. So I'm getting to know the acoustics and how the wave, the electronic and digital wave, how they work. It's really interesting, but it takes a lot of time. So I need sometimes. Now my wife got a dog.
Uh-huh.
The dog I was against it, but now the dog is like, it's really great.
It's a companion.
It's a friend. He is always happy to see you no matter what.
Yeah, I'm sure you work from home probably, right?
Yeah,
Most of the
yeah,
time. So I can tell that you're doing your music, you have to be on your head, then you're working from home. So definitely I'm not surprised that you go out and you sit and look at the city and see what's going on outside.
yeah. We just moved, and then I go out with him. I used to take him on a leash. Now I just set him free, and he's like, and he walk ahead of me. Then he starts to look, and when I see them there, you know, he's the first thing that I see every morning is him, because he goes to the bed and he got like.
And starts licking you. Well, everybody loves Frank Quintero. What can you say?
Even the dogs, yeah.
Yeah. So, Frank, I know you're busy. So, just getting to the last couple of questions, what would you be your advice to have a fulfilled life for everybody out there struggling that they work, but they want to build in their passion into their lives and their parents, such as you are? Do you have any like savviness or wisdom that you like to share?
You just said it. Passion. Passion is the only thing that makes you do things better.
Yeah, that's my last question. Is always what makes you tick. And
Yeah. No matter what, if you have the passion for it, you're gonna be great at it. First of all, you have to believe. Like when I'm teaching now, and some of my kids, I ask the first question I ask them: why do you want to be a musician? Okay, I gave you the answers. For fun? Do you want to be famous? For money? Do you want to conquest girls or guys? What is it? Why? And so why are you asking me is because that's the different. According to your answer, you're gonna have. I'm gonna teach you what you need to know. If you want to be a musician, so I can give you what I know, or my knowledge. But if you just want to play, then I can give you that. You don't have to study. I show you how to play. But you have to be passionate about it. You have to practice. You have to listen to music. I just ran into this book called "This Is Your Brain in Music." It's a wonderful book. It's this guy. He says his musical approach changed the first time he wore headphones, because he could hear things in each side of the head, like the guitar here, the voice here. So the book explained how people listen, how the brain listens to sounds. For some people, a guitar is a wonderful, sweet, and mellow sound. Some people, if you knock on the door and you play guitar, sing, it's just noise. That's because because of the way the brain works. So it's really interesting. So I tell you, if you want to be a priest, great. But just learn about religion, and that if you want to be an astronaut, go to NASA. You see, whatever you have to do, you gotta be passionate about it. So life will reward that passion.
That's a great point. But I think you said something that's even also equally important is that you ask your students, what do you want to be? And I think as adults, we don't ask that often. Like if you have a new job or you're probably thinking about changing your jobs, we don't think about why do I want to change my jobs? Why I'm not that happy in the one I have, and what would I find in the new one? People just go through the motions, maybe for more money or because it's closer to home, but then they forget about, am I passionate about this? Would I be passionate about it?
Right.
That's two important points, that you have to know what you want.
Of course.
And then you have to like it enough to be passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So, Frank, in closing, do you want to share anything? Is there anything besides going to Australia? That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, really. I'm working in, I'm going to release 3 things this year. One is a record I've been working on this for the last 2 years. It's called Otra America.
Okay. I like the name a lot.
Yeah, it's how pop music got to South America, and by whom? Who were the guys who brought us the rock and roll music, and how it got to Venezuela in the first place?
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, from Venezuela to Brazil. So I pick up 9 countries and 9 songs. It's a documentary.
Okay, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's great because then, what I call Otra America is people from all over South America. They are all over the world, spreading the cultures, not because they want to, because they didn't have any other choice. So that's the new America. The Otra America, no, it's not North America. It's not the America that what the North American people call, welcome to America. No, this is North America. There's another America out there.
Yes.
Okay, the other project is called 100 Songs, 100 Stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, each song has a story.
I adore it.
It's a book.
Oh, that's great. That's exciting stuff.
Very exciting. And the other one is called my new record that is called Magneto.
Magneto.
Which is my most favorite famous song. DJ versions, like new sounds, and and other people.
Well, that's why I admire of you, that you've been able to like adapt and transform and shape, but leaving the essence of who you are very imprinted in there. Because anyone that has seen you sing lately, you always you did one version for La Chica de los 80, which is a super famous song for us, and then you rebaptized it 2030. La Chica del 2030.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, because you find humor in doing these things, and also you give people a little bit of what they want, but also a little bit of the nostalgia that we like, which is, your voice, you have a beautiful voice, is also, I think, one of your trademarks. So you have to showcase it. Well, I'm very excited. We're going to have all the data and the links to your Facebook page. Frank also teaches kids music. So if you live in South Florida, if you live in Miami, check him out. And who better than Frank Quintero to teach your kid? I'm considering for my son to take up the drums. But I definitely am very, very humbled that you said yes to this, Frank. I appreciate it.
Thank you for thinking of me and inviting me to do this.
No, thank you. Thanks for supporting my podcasting journey. And I wish you the best. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more and hopefully celebrating very soon in Venezuela with champagne and Frank Quintero.
Okay, amen.
Amen. Gracias,
Okay.
Fran. Un abrazo. And until the next time.